welcome to week number 6 of All Ball, No Bull. I am Kenny Matthews with my two sidekicks here, Mr. Jim Dent. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I just hope I can stay ahead of you young guys as we start down the stretch here.
Through 5 weeks, you're doing a heck of a job of doing that so far, that's for sure. And my other sidekick there, Mr. Billy Martin Jr. How are you doing, my friend?
You know what? We're having fun, so I'm doing just fine.
Excellent. Well, we're here every week with 3 picks that we think are going to be winners. We picked against the Las Vegas Lions in the NFL. And last week again, Jim Dent, you were 2-1 again last week. I mean, you've been rolling this whole season. You're now 12-3 on the year. Congratulations, my friend. You're on fire.
Hey, and the only one he lost by a point. I mean,
Not doing bad.
He was giving up 7 and they won by 6. I mean, you know.
He is breaking this bookmaker. The bookmaker will not take any more Jim Dent bets.
It's the life of the gambler.
And Billy Martin, we had a correction from the week before. You were actually 2-1 the week before then, and you were 2-1 again this past week. Congratulations. You got a season total of 10-5, which is outstanding itself there on a percentage there, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you. My bookie says up yours. But,
And I'm bringing up the rear with another losing week last week of 1-2 last week. That got my season total of 8-6-1. I plan on doing a much better job this week. But Jim, since you're the leader in the clubhouse, you get first dibs again, buddy. So who's your first pick for week number 6?
I think I'll take Tua. I think I will take an Adams driver. I think I will step onto the tee and I will hit the golf ball 360 yards because the Miami Dolphins are going to win again against the Detroit Lions, a team that's going to be absolutely down after losing to the Dallas Cowboys last week.
That's a good pick there, Jim, for another reason. Dan Campbell got the big old voice of reason from the owner this week, the vote of confidence. So that's generally never good. Dan Campbell's got a rough year going. They're 1-5. I know that they were expecting to be more competitive than they have been. It's just Detroit. The clip joint of the NBA, is the Detroit Lions of the NFL. It just seems like there's a dark cloud around them year after year after year. Yes. So Jim Dent's got Miami minus laying the 3 points for his first pick. Billy, who was going to be your first pick of the evening?
I think my first pick of the evening is going to be Jacksonville. Minus 2.5 versus Denver, who did look a little better last week, but a little better than crappy isn't that good.
Did you see the note today about the might be some rumblings they may be firing their first-year coach if he does not win this week? I mean, what is it, 6 games in?
And he was a terrible coach too.
Yeah, I said, does that GM need to go with them too? I mean, he signed the coach and the quarterback.
What about Bell?
I don't know. I do know one thing. Denver is wasting a championship level defense this year because their offense is just putrid. They just can't score. I mean, you got to score in the NFL, and they're not getting 7s. They're getting field goals, and that's not going to do it. But
yeah. Wilson just looks a step slower than he looked in the past to me. He
does.
I think there's a reason that they let him leave Seattle.
I also think even in his reads, it seems like he's just a little off even on his reads. He's just not comfortable. For whatever reason, he's not comfortable in that system at all. And he don't have many more weeks to get better. And I don't think they get better this week either. So I do like the pick there, Billy. My first pick of the evening is going to be the Baltimore Ravens. I think they're going to go into Raymond James Stadium on Thursday night. The win laying the 1.5. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're a mess. I mean, there's nothing else to say about that. Last week, getting thumped by Carolina on the road, that, you know, Carolina team that basically mailed in the season, trading Christian McCaffrey to the 49ers 3 days prior to that game. I just don't see it. Tom Brady's getting all over his offensive line, and, you know, it's just a complete mess in Tampa Bay. Baltimore seems to be winning games close, so they're only laying 1.5 this time, so they just got to win. You know? But they play tight games week after week after week. I'm going to take Baltimore in spite of Harbaugh's game time decisions sometimes late in games. That's what I'm going to take as my first pick. Jim, who is your second pick going to be of the evening?
J D S Jets.
Yeah. I'm with Jimbo on this one too. This is, I don't know.
New England is nobody, and he's going back. Belichick is going back to the quarterback that he gave half to last week.
Right.
So I think Belichick may be banging his head against the wall, Billy. The Jets have got New England right where they want them. New England used to beat them like a yard dog, and now it's time for the Jets to have their day.
The only thing I worry about there, though, New England stepped up a little this last week for me too, though. That's why I didn't keep them in my top 3. I like that. That was on my top 6. But
Well, one thing that does worry me about the Jets is they losing their, they're losing their running back. There's still Stidham from Iowa State. He's out for the year with a torn ACL, and then they're losing their All-Pro offensive tackle also. He kind of came down with an Achilles injury last week. That does worry me a little bit about that, but if I had to choose a side, I would take the Jets because, as Jim said, they play hard every week. And that's something too, that if you're playing hard on the professional level every week, you know, that does do you well there. So, yes, Jimbo's got the Jets, and they are getting 1.5 against New England. Matt Jones is going to start for New England. That was announced today. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure how to deal with New England because, man, what happened to them this past Monday night with the Chicago Bears, I didn't see that coming for sure, man. And they got whacked. So you would think Belichick will have them ready to play this week. Billy, who's going to be your second pick of the week?
well, since we're talking about New York teams, I might as well just move across town to the Giants. They'll be at Seattle, getting 2.5 points, and I kind of like that game.
Giants defense is keeping them in ball games. Daniel Jones doesn't have to do too much. As long as that defense plays well, and Seattle, I'm not sure about just yet. It seems like they play good one week, kind of not the next week. I'm not so sure, but if the Giants win this game here, man, you're going to talk about a three-headed race for the NFC East, going forward between Philly, Cowboys, and the Giants. So, and the Giants play extremely well. I believe the Giants are 5-2 against the line. Let's see here. 6-1. They're 6-1 against the spread this year. So,
wow.
Yeah, they're not bad. They're not bad. My second pick of the week is going to be the Minnesota Vikings, laying a 3.5 at home. I think Kirk Cousins has not played very well. He's been pretty mediocre so far, but the defense for Minnesota's played extremely well. They've got excellent weapons there. You've got to think that Kirk Cousins is going to turn it around here a little bit. I think the Vikings also can kind of smell that number 2 seed maybe in their mind if they kind of keep winning most of their games going forward. I'm not sure if they can catch Philadelphia at this point in time, but their division is not very good with Chicago, Green Bay, Detroit Lions in it. You would think you would have at least five wins right there in your home division. So, I think this is a key game for the Vikings, and I like them just laying the 3.5 at home. Worrying about the Tarkanian hook a little bit, but we'll roll with it.
I like that one too, Kenny. I really do. And come on, Arizona hasn't seemed to put anything together. So,
yeah. And Jimbo, who will be your last and final pick of week number 6?
The Tennessee Titans are coming into the national capital of Deshaun Watson massage this weekend. And if they get relaxed, I think there's going to be no trouble with those Houston Texans. Billy and I were talking about this before the show, and it seems like maybe the odds makers, they may not be getting massages, but I think they may be getting drunk. Because these lines on the Tennessee Titans are terrible. Is it 2.5?
Yep, 2.5. Yep, 2.5. Last week was 2.5.
Better is Tennessee than Houston. Maybe 7 or 8.
Yeah. Well, Houston got 7 last week, and it didn't do me any good. But yeah, I do kind of like Tennessee there also. They just, I think if Tannehill just passes for 200 yards a game and you see Mr. O'Henry, getting the ball a whole bunch, then Tennessee's got a great shot at winning.
I'm with Jim on that one too. I didn't say it earlier, Kenny, when you took Baltimore, I was the other way on that one only because I hear a rumor that Mr. Brady's lady, Giselle, is returning home, and so that's either going to be well for him that he kick the mistress out, or he's really happy to have his family back.
Well, if she can bring a whole offensive line to the game for Brady, I think that may help. But yeah, maybe we'll see Tom Brady actually smile this football season. I don't think we've seen a smile out of him in the first 7 games a year, that's for sure, man. It's been a tough offseason for him. But yes, Billy's
out of his house.
Yeah. So, Billy, we got you down with Tennessee also with Jimbo. And then my last pick of the week will be the Atlanta Falcons at home, laying the 4.5. Yes, the Falcons got whacked pretty good last week, but I still like the job that Mr. Smith has done there. And if you look up in that division, Falcons got a shot at winning this division now because it's so horrible when you look at the win-loss records in there. They're a young team. Like I said, I think Smith has got them going in the right direction. I think that I'm counting on a bounce back this week. Mariana did not look good last week, but I really do think that the Falcons defense they had a bad game last week. I think they can let down the opponent this week, so I'm going to go with the Falcons with my last pick here. And like I said, we have the season total here, and Jim is 12-3. Billy Martin's at 10-5, and Kenny's at 8-6-1. And guys, we'll roll it again next week. We got to keep this winning percentage. Hey, we're all above 500. That means we're doing something right.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, absolutely. It's always fun to chat with you guys and talk about NFL picks. And we actually get to do a Thursday night game this week, so we'll get it in a little early. So I'm kind of excited about that. So we'll see. But anyway, guys, thanks so much. We'll be back next week with All Ball, No Bull. Kenny Matthews, Jim Dent, and Billy Martin Jr. See you guys next week.
See you guys.